Howdy, folks. I'm Jeff, and this is Tools, Technology, and Training. And the first of the month, we always highlight amazing women in our industry. And we're so pleased to have Tiffany Sherrado that moderates all this with us. And we want to give a shout out, a thank you to our sponsors that allow us to do this month after month. Thank you to Milton Industries, Z-Line by Milton, LTI. Promax, Steck, and we appreciate all their support that they give to our industry and then associated equipment. The blue battery chargers. I want the blue one. Those are made right here in the United States in St. Louis, Missouri. So let's go ahead and this month's topic is I didn't have a background in auto repair and I decided to own an auto shop. And so Tiffany has gathered a group of ladies here, and she's going to introduce them and one at a time, and we'll go in and listen to their story about some of their struggles and some of their problems and getting into the industry. Tiffany, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for having us again. I thought since a couple times we have talked about how intimidating the automotive industry is to women who haven't been in the industry or been familiarized with the industry, maybe by family member that works there, that it would be fun just to feature some of our members who didn't have a background in automotive and were kind of dropped in it, so to speak. So the first guest I want to introduce to you is Shelley Fleischman from Auto Alley. And I just love her story. And the first time she told it, I was tickled. So I'm gonna let her take it from here.
And we were teasing her about her tan because she's up by Buffalo, New York, the sunshine area.
Yes. Yes, I am from just south of Buffalo, New York. My husband and I have owned a shop here now for 10 years. We started off, I'm coming from the accounting background. I was in accounting, and my husband was in the automotive field his whole life, from auto body and Bosse's to college, and then going on to working at a Ford dealership. He got a call from his alma mater and he started teaching back at his college, automotive as well. So he was always around the automotive field. He had time off during, breaks and summer, and he would work on vehicles at home. And it just kind of led into him wanting to own a business, I believe, at that point in time. So he was driving back and forth to work, and it was about an hour drive each way. One night he came home and he said, I just passed this shop about 20 minutes from here and from our house. And he said, I'm gonna go take a look at it. So we drove up, we took a look at it. He walked in the building, looked at the ceiling, looked at the floor, and said, sold. And that's basically how the whole thing began. So he continued teaching. I left my job working in the accounting department and opened up our business, and learned, and I didn't know anything about automotive whatsoever. So I became a service writer. He would go to work every day. We had a 3 and a 5-year-old at the time. So once he got here, I would go pick them up from daycare, and he would stay here and answer every question that I left him a note for. So that's basically how it all began.
So you were running.
I did. I ran it for the first 3 years.
So tell me, he looked at the floor and the ceiling. What was so special about the floor and the ceiling?
Well, the ceiling height, of course.
Okay.
Is huge. And then the concrete. If the concrete's beautiful, yes, he sold on it.
Now, were there lifts and stuff all in there, or did y'all?
There was not. It was not an automotive repair shop at the time, so it was all empty, and we came in and we installed everything.
So you built this from scratch, and
Correct.
you developed your customer base and all that.
Correct.
So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that as far as you're coming in. It wasn't an automotive shop. and he's still teaching at school and leaves you there.
Mm-hmm.
To build that. How did you, and do y'all have specialties? Do you work on everything? You just
We
work?
do work on everything as well as, so our building here in Arcade has two shops actually. There's a back shop as well. And that shop we do classic cars, hot rods, restorations,
Oh,
lifts, all that fun stuff too. Yes.
oh my goodness. So
hmm
they like to play. So all the boys with their toys come see y'all.
Correct. Yes. And my husband's pretty well known for the automotive industry around here. A lot of people come to him for questions and everything. So, um, getting established and everything, it took a little bit, but we got there. The funny story is there is not even a sign by the road to this day, 10 years later. So we have been word of mouth the whole time. There's a sign on our building, but we're pretty far away from the road.
Well, and a lot of times that's the best business.
hmm
If they come to you, then they're already trusting you,
Correct.
and you're not having a. And for the other ones that have dealt with just customers that call and hey, what's your price? And hey, I'm looking for the lift kit, and hey, and it's a completely different animal than when they come in and trust you. So, how long did it take y'all to get going? And then tell us a little bit. Do you have um, how many technicians and how many bays and stuff?
Um, as far as get going, I mean, I would say a couple years, growing wise, and to this day we're still growing. Technicians, we've had as many as five. We have three at the moment. We have one designated right to the back shop as far as working on the classic cars and hot rods. As far as bays, we have four bays up front with a flat stall and alignment rack. And then in the back's another four, I, yeah, four bays as well with another flat stall back there as well.
Now, what were some of the problems that you had? Because if you come from accounting, then you know how to keep track of the money, you know how to watch the numbers. But did you know like all the numbers that you needed to watch, or did you just?
No, I didn't know. I think our hardest part was like the margins. We had, where do you set the margins at? Um, Labor rates, just learning all that to begin with. And the first 3 years were tough. After after 3 years, my husband came on full time, and it just grew a lot faster from there. So, I mean, having him here was a huge help. We also, I think the smartest thing ever is to get a business coach. And once we did that, it changed our world.
So tell us
So,
what changed your world about having a business coach.
well, honestly, I was like so against getting a business coach to begin with because I'm like, we can't afford that. And I mean, as soon as we talked with him, he's like, just raise your labor rate 25 cents and I'm free now. And
You-
just those little things like that you would never think of.
Was it really 25 cents or was it $25?
No, it's like 25, 50 cents. Yeah.
Really?
hmm
Oh my goodness.
hmm
So what advice did he give you? And then let's go back around and as you were bringing folks on and you're looking at the different labor rates and stuff, because with restoration, with paint and body, it's a totally different labor rates than it is working on cars, doing general repairs.
We don't do collision work here. So the paint and body we send out if they were to do that. So um, some people think we should be higher rate in the back, but we keep it all at the same labor rate.
Do you
So
really?
we don't have different labor rates as far as that goes here.
But when you're saying restoration, tell me
hmm
about some of what you're doing there.
So they'll bring in, say, a classic car. Sometimes we have to tear the whole thing apart and then they'll want to paint it and everything. So we'll ship it out and then it'll come back and we'll put it all back together or, adding new stuff to it.
So
So it
like
just depends on what the customer wants.
now, when you talk about your general repair stuff that you do there, is it foreign and domestic? Do you get into European?
Yep, we'll do everything.
Oh my
Hmm.
God. So
Yep,
you have some good techs. How
we
did
do.
all that work out as far as hiring them and you were in charge? So was that a struggle to begin with?
Well, we literally started with one tech and myself is how it started off. Grew to a couple technicians. And the funny thing is they actually came to us looking for positions without even advertising.
Oh my.
So, we've always been pretty lucky when it comes to hiring, to be honest.
And Shelley does not have a website. It blows me away.
We need a website. We do need a website.
And the other part she didn't mention is she did so well at handling his dream and opening the shop that he wanted. They opened a second location last year, and he said, "Here, Shelley, go do that one too."
Oh my.
So yes, 10 years later, just last October, we he's always wanted to open multiple shops and I not so much, but he came to me the one day, he's like, we're gonna go take a look at this one shop. So we about 45 minutes from here, we drove over, looked at the shop, and I'm like, absolutely not. This is not for us. And then the real estate agent was like, you know what? I have another place that I think you should look at. It's turnkey. I'll take you there right now. So we go over to this other shop. My husband sees it. We walk in. He looks at the ceiling. He looks at the floor, and he says, "Sold."
Now, when we say turnkey, that was an operating shop.
So it was an operating shop, but it was one man band at the time. Um, it needed a lot of it was only 15 years old. The place is beautiful, but it needed a lot of cleaning out and everything. So we actually shut down for 2.5 months once we closed and went through and cleaned everything, painted, put new flooring down and everything. So
So y'all are real big on appearance and stuff.
very much so.
Let's circle back
Um,
around now because um, the first thing was you said, you were against coach, and I've always for years I haven't understood. Okay, where are you gonna pay somebody to tell you what you should be doing, and to come to find out, it's like you don't know what you don't know.
right. And I wasn't against the coach. I was against spending more money. It just seemed like a lot to me, but at the same time, we didn't know how to run a business. I mean, I may know how to do accounting and everything, but as far as running a business, even talking to our employees and everything, you just learn so much. The efficiency part, just everything.
This is just an amazing story. Okay, now let's circle back on the website. I've always been a strong believer. You didn't have to have a website unless you're a manufacturer or something. And people need to go and look up parts or or look up schematics and find a part for their lift or whatever. It's like I don't need a website and for a shop, but you get into Google and the algorithms and all of that. That's why it's important to have a website. It's a landing page. And when you come back and you say, we're word of mouth, we were totally word of mouth. We've been in business 40 years. We've been here 30 years. I've not been a strong believer of websites. When we didn't used to have social media, and now we do. And with Google, taking over everything, they look for certain words on your website. They look for certain descriptions. They look for, descriptions of what you work on, descriptions of, and it takes those. So everybody pulls up their phone. Okay, you do restoration. Hey, restoration near me. That's why they're looking at a website. So since you don't do website, tell us what you do. Are you real big in Facebook? Are you real big on social media?
We're horrible at marketing. Horrible. I'll be honest.
Tell me
I'm
what you
just
do.
being honest. Um, yeah, we just use Google. I may post a picture or two here and there on Facebook, but or if we close down to go for training or something. But it is something that we need to step up and do. And the website we've talked about before years ago, and we talked about it again this year, especially opening the second shop. It was brought up again. So it is something we need to do.
Now you're MSO, multi-shop owner. All of a sudden,
Mhm.
you've stepped up into the next spectrum.
Right.
We're down here, you're up here. And so it's like, okay, and it's 45 minutes away. So I take it that's a city or two away.
Yep.
So when you say you do Google, tell me what you do on Google.
There's nothing we really do on Google. We
Well,
just have our page on there with some pictures and everything.
so you've
And
claimed,
we ask for reviews now and then, but we we could do a better job at asking for reviews as well. So we do have to step up the marketing aspect of it.
so what kind of struggles did you have being a woman in automotive industry?
I think at the beginning, people do walk in and they'll they see the women, and there's times they always ask for Jim or a technician to talk to, um, and try and pass by me. Or at the beginning, I did have to go to the technicians and ask for help. So that was kind of a struggle for me there. But nowadays it's different. So I don't think there really is a struggle now. If
Oh,
they come in and they ask for somebody else, I'm like, well, I can help you.
one last question.
Okay.
You mentioned before we came on, you're involved with the 20 group. So you figured out a lot of stuff out in 10 years.
hmm
Tell
My
us.
husband started off with the 20 group. I just joined in the past few years, so going with him, but he did originally.
And so the 20 group is shops in your area.
Yeah, about 45 minutes from here. We're a little more rural, so it's out Buffalo way, and we meet up with a bunch of the top shops out there once a month.
What do you get out of those?
It's honestly, it's a lot, even like coaching in a way. It can be anything from insurances to um, well, we went to a 4-day work week, and it's so funny just talking about that with everybody. We were the first shop to do that, and after a while, there has now been 3 other shops from our 20 group that has now gone to 4-day work weeks. So
What 4 days are they?
Monday through Thursday,
And if you can't get it done,
we we will get it done.
yeah.
They need a work-life balance and they need to take off.
Tiffany, I am so amazed at Shelley, all the different, I mean, just like that. It's like, bam, 10 years. She's got to figure it out. And they've gone to MSO, baby.
I
This
think
is,
most couples would have probably divorced when they said, "Hey, you're going to run the shop for 3 years by yourself while you raise a 3 and a 5-year-old." But no, Shelley's a rock star.
It was
uh,
a little tough, I'm not going to lie.